The first thing I want to talk about is the art of engagement. This is the process by which you find someone who walking in the aisle, make contact with them, and bring them into your booth. Most people have difficulty meeting new people, especially in rapid succession. So the art of engagement is a set of specific skills that will help you better engage people on the show floor. So this is your trade show layout. The red box at the bottom is a 10 by 10 inline booth. The dotted line is what I call coastline. This is the area of your booth that meets the aisle, meets the carpeting, when the carpets meet. The more coastline you have, the better. The best booths are island booths because they have coastline all the way around them. The more exposure you have to the coast, the better. However, if you're a 10 by 10 booth using a trade show samurai technique, you will knock the socks off a 20 by 20 island booth any day of the week because your ability to generate leads is a lot better than typical trade show exhibitors. The proper way to stand, I call this trade show samurai stance, is 1 foot in your booth and the other foot right in the aisle. Pick a direction, left or right, and scan the aisle. You'll be looking at a 10-foot radius right before you on the aisle. And you're positioned properly, you're in the line of traffic, you can see what's going on, and you're not imposing on anybody. People will start walking on the booth. I think there's going to be 60,000 people at the Houseware show this year, 15,000 buyers. There is no place in the entire show floor that will not be busy. This is one of the busiest shows in all of exhibiting across the United States. It's certainly one of the busiest ones I've ever been to. There is no shortage of the number of people that you can engage at the Houseware show. So focus on connecting with people one by one as they walk by. When someone comes within 10 feet, that is your contact. Everybody else is irrelevant at that point. When they come within 10 feet, make eye contact, acknowledge they're there, and give them a smile. This little gesture, this smile, this basic eye contact is one of the most important things you can do to generate, to acknowledge a user, to engage a user. I call it the 10-5 rule. Because as this person takes another step, you've acknowledged them, when they get to 5 feet, you speak, and you keep your smile. The 10-5 rule is a rule that's used in many different venues, especially in the hospitality industry, which says you acknowledge someone at 10 feet and you speak to them at 5 feet. If you acknowledge them too far away, they'll have the opportunity to steer clear of your booth. If you acknowledge them too close, it'll feel weird and confrontational. If you speak to them too far away, they'll have this awkward silence while they come closer to you. If you speak to them too late, it'll be weird and confrontational. So the 10-5 rule is a rule that will help you engage the person. That before you open your mouth. Now, when you open your mouth, you have to have the right thing to say. This is called the Battle of Bonsai. A bonsai is a little tree with multiple branches, and that's what we're going to do here. We're going to ask a series of short questions that will help us branch off the individual into a bucket or a category that we can move into the art of intrigue. We have to know who this person is that we're talking to, and sometimes the badge will give us an indication who they are, sometimes it won't. We don't want to rely on the badge too much because sometimes people borrow badges or switch them off. This happens more often than you might think. And it's important to understand exactly where that person's coming from. So the Battle of Bonsai is as follows. Remember, we're using the College Peas example. I'm going to ask a series of quick questions. Have you registered with the College Peas? We might have a registration process on the show floor. Have you spoken with College Peas? Have you spoken to our company yet? A lot of trade show samurais find that they're speaking to the same people over and over again in a show. Certainly as you get to generating a lot of leads, that's possible. But if not, that's okay. They can say no, and that sets them up to have a further conversation with you. If they say yes, you can simply say thank you for stopping by earlier and let them go on their way. The next questions you want to ask is going to bucket them. At a typical college show, there's high school guidance counselors, and there are colleges. So your questions might be, are you with a high school or with a college? And one thing I want you to notice as I'm asking, if you look at these feet down here, every time the person takes a step closer to me, I take a step back. I'm bringing that person gently into my booth, out of the aisle, so we can have a meaningful conversation. If they're left out in the aisle, they're going to get sucked into the traffic undertow, and they're not going to be a good contact for me. So I subtly bring them back by stepping backwards into the booth and drawing that person in with me. The last question I might ask is, have you heard about College Peas? Have you heard about our company? This is going to set the person up to start talking to you. You found out who they are. You're finding out whether they know who you are, and you can make your next move. So let's say, for instance, this person says, I'm from a college and I've never heard of you. As you can see, we're comfortably inside the 10 by 10 part of our booth, and now we can have a conversation. This brings us to the art of intrigue. So when that person tells you that from a college, you're going to be able to draw from your premeditated, pre-rehearsed, canned pitch. This is like an elevator pitch, a 30-second pitch that you've memorized that talks about the benefits of your company specifically as they pertain to colleges. One of the mistakes that's often made on the trade show floor is people start talking about their company in general terms and not in specific audience terms. Because we have a tendency to go right into our spiel with every attendee that comes to our booth, we forget the step of bucketing this person and making it a relevant conversation. So if we know this person's from a college, we can go into our college pitch. And here's what it might be for this company. College Peace helps students learn about unique college opportunities they may never have known about otherwise. We work with colleges like you to identify unique educational opportunities on your campus and the types of students you're trying to attract. We will find the students you want and tell them about your college. If they want to learn more, we will share their contact and profile information with you. I can get you started right away. It only takes a few minutes. What are some unique programs at your college? And pow, you've brought them back in. You've given them just enough information to be interested in what you're talking about, and you're bringing them back into starting to collect information about who they are. So in this case, we want to talk a little bit about unique programs at this college and get this person talking about who they are. If, for instance, the person said they were with a high school or with a different audience, you might have a different pitch. And I'm not going to read this, but as you can see, this is a different slant on the same service that maybe a high school would consume rather than a college. So each different audience has a very specific set of benefits and features that you want to communicate to that person when they come to your booth. If it's a retailer, there's a different message than if they're a distributor. A distributor's message might be about how you're looking for distributors or what kind of pricing programs you have. If it's a retailer, you might talk about what kind of marketing programs to pull through the product off the retailer shelves. So it's very important that you understand who's talking to you at any given time and have a predetermined, premeditated, canned elevator pitch for them. And every time, bang, you bring them right back in. The last line of this pitch is, may I have your first and last name, please? You're beginning to collect that lead information. A lot of people think this might be kind of an aggressive approach, and it is, but it is not offensive. It is not it's not offensive. It's not disrespectful. It's the right way to manage this.